Hello, hello, hello. It is Sunday, November the 22nd. Please like and share this, and let's get this conversation started. Hello, hello, hello again. Hello again. Please let me know that you're out here. Please let us know that you're here. Please like and share. I am so super excited about tonight. And guess what? I am still excited about your future, our future. And let's just get right into it. I am Thomas Davis. I am the host for this evening. I am just glad and honored to be able to be here on a Sunday evening watching this great show with you, being a part with you. I'm super excited that we are so-called winning right now. Let's hope that this wins. Let's just hope that the Dallas Cowboys stay up. But hey, who knows? It's 2020. Anything can happen. Again, I am Thomas Davis. I am pleasured and honored to be here with you tonight. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed in the discussion that we are going to have tonight. I'm super pumped. My guests are super pumped. We are all excited, and we just want you all to let us know that you're here. Please don't shy away from making some comments in the camera. Please like and share. Please drop your name in the comments so we can see you. Hey, Miss Carol, I'm excited too. Hey, Mom, I'm excited that you're on. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. All right. So, as we always do, this is season 1, episode 2 of Move Mountains and Break Barriers. How many of us are excited about moving some mountains in our lives? How many of us are excited about breaking some barriers? We got to do it, have to do it. It's important. We got to do it. So I'm just super excited about that. So let me just go and do a quick pause for the call. And typically, what I like to do is before we go into a great discussion, we always want to be thankful for what we have, where we are, and where we are going. And so last week, we gave a huge shout out on last month about being thankful for our frontline workers, being thankful for everything that people are doing to keep us safe during these times of a pandemic. We are thankful for them still. But now, as we are going into the Thanksgiving holiday, let's be thankful for where we are. Let's be thankful that we can wake up on Thursday morning and say, hey, this may not be the traditional way that we celebrate as a family, but I'm thankful that each and every one of us are still alive. Even if we got to Zoom it and do a FaceTime call, let's be thankful for the small things, thankfulness, gratitude, and grace. I just wanted to say I am thankful again for each and every one of you. I am thankful that we are still here, and know that even in not so good times, we still can find something to be excited and thankful about. So I just want to say again, thank you again for being online tonight. I love you guys. I love the feedback, and we're going to have a great and dynamic show tonight. Okay, so let's get into the discussion. So, as you've seen on social media and throughout many posts, we've been talking about last week what was our perception? Who are we? Who we stand for? How others perceive us? How we perceive ourselves? And we talked about that, and we loved and we learned last week that you got to love who you are. And most of all, we have to own who we are. If you love who you are and we own us, then it does not matter what other people perceive or think about us. We moved those mountains last week and we began to break those barriers. Aren't you guys excited about it? Because I know I am. When I say I am super excited about our future, I really mean that wholeheartedly. I'm excited about each and every one of you, even to people that I don't know. I'm just excited because we have learned in 2020 two things. A, we don't know it all, right? And B, we know that there are some things that happen that we cannot control, even if we wanted to. So we have to be thankful. We have to be secure in ourselves. And most of all, we got to keep walking forward. What you say about that, team? All right, so here we go. Tonight, we are going to talk about purpose. 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 Say it with me, y'all. Purpose. Are you walking in your purpose? Are you living in your purpose? Do you even know what your purpose is? Some of us still are trying to find it out, but guess what? We're going to help you out on tonight. I promise you, we're going to help you out. So before we go into a show, there are some things that I feel as a licensed therapist that we have to do to make sure that we are in alignment. And I love the fact that we have to make sure that we know what we're talking about. So we're going to go into some light discussions, something for everybody. I said this on a former show, Lottie Dottie, everybody. Those back in the 80s know about that song. So don't think I'm old. I just love old school music. All right, purpose. We're going to put uneasy, resistance, procrastinations out, and we're going to surpass our expectations. Purpose. Purpose. What is your purpose? What is our purpose? Are we really walking and living in our purpose? Our gifts are visible. We have to see it. So what are we looking at? What am I looking at? And I can tell you my purpose. Never. Those who know me know I love taking a picture and posting it on social media. If you follow any of my social media accounts, I got thousands and thousands of pictures. However, me sitting here on this platform doing this was something that I have been fighting for years. Because those who know me know that I have a stutter, but I had to get beyond that barrier because I believe that even in a stutter, I still have something to say. What you say about that? Because I know I feel good about it now. I had to not allow my barrier or something that I felt that was a mountain keep me in a place that I knew that I had greatness and I had other things that I need to do. I had to step outside of Thomas. And I had to remove that mountain and move that barrier. And guess what? Look at me now. Y'all see me in front of the camera speaking, in front saying that you still can meet your goals and all possibilities are limitless. I may not be the best oratorical, but guess what? I have a voice. I may not be the best educator, but life experiences has taught me that I could teach somebody else through what I have gone through in my life. And know this, viewers, not everything has been good and not everything has been bad. So when I say what I've gone through in my life, that means everything from birth to life to moving to college, everything. And lastly, we all, viewers, have degrees. We have a BS in life, a master's degree in trials and tribulations, a doctorate degree in transitions. So know we all have something that we can bring to the table. I can go on and on and on, but you all are not here to hear me talk. I want to make sure that you understand that we are here for you and we are here for you and we support you. We love you and we're going to help you move that mountain, break that barrier. And lastly, find out what your purpose is. So let me bring on my first guest. This young man is a great brother to me. He is a great friend of mine. All of them are actually. But this particular brother that I want to introduce is Mr. John Rawlins. He is a brother that has pushed me to step outside of Thomas. He has placed me in great opportunities that I just wasn't feeling like I should be there. But if I felt comfortable in that, that means that wasn't my calling. Sometimes we got to feel uncomfortable in order to make some change. And this particular brother here has done a dynamic job with supporting me. He's originally from the East Coast, but now he's out there on the West Coast. So I'm going to give him a pass on that. I would like to introduce to you all Mr. John Rawlins. Hey, Mr. Rawlins. What's up, John?
What's happening, brother? How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I am enjoying the West Coast, which is wonderful. I like my East Coast too, but there's something about the West Coast that is growing on me. I have to admit.
You know what? I can't. But nowhere, you know what home is, right? It's on the East Coast.
Oh, always, DC, always.
So how are you feeling, John? How are you feeling?
Listen, I'm feeling great. I had a good week. We're in the midst of the Thanksgiving season, and honestly, an opportunity to reflect on where we are in our lives. Of course, this being, like you said, just a very different year for us. I think, at least for me, it's causing me to be thankful in some different ways.
Right.
I'm just, I'm excited about, being able to spend time with some friends and just all of what this season means.
All right. Are you ready to talk about purpose tonight?
I am. I'm ready to talk about purpose.
All right. So hold on. All right. I would like to introduce you to our next guest. This next guest that I want to introduce is Mr. Desmond McCall. This young man, he and I have been friends for over 10 years. Long time. We haven't changed. We just have developed and grown. This young man has a great calling on his life. He's a great person that can give you sound advice. And they go hold one thing against him. We all make decisions to be part of great organizations. But I love him like he's still my brother. Without further ado, I want to bring on Mr. Desmond McCall. Desmond, what's up, brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. How are you doing on the East Coast?
I'm doing well on the East Coast. You all right out there, Brother Rawlins?
I'm all right. Out here.
All right.
There are some comments, John. There is a message from Mr. Andre Marable. He says he loves your hoodie. Shout out to my viewers that are on. I see you, Earl Johnson. I see you, Miss Portia Scott. I see my great friend from Danville, Tim Fitzgerald, on. We are on tonight, y'all. I see my cousin. Hey, cuz. How are you doing, Des?
Doing all right, man. I mean, as Brother Rawlins just shared, COVID has us, stuck in our homes, but I'm just grateful for life, health, and strength, and the opportunity to be able to be here, to be a part of this conversation. I know it's going to be a good one.
Yes.
And looking forward to, coming out on the other end with some new knowledge, man.
All right, let's do it. Now, are you ready to talk about, are we going to walk and live in our purpose?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's do this. All right, y'all. So let's go to Mr. Brashawn Jenkins. This brother here has been nothing but a brother's brother. We had a conversation literally before we even got onto our platform, and we was pouring into each other. Sometimes in life, viewers, we got to have people that you can connect to on a spiritual level, on a brotherly level, on a fraternal level, just on somebody's level. And this brother has done nothing but just that. I want to bring on real quick, Mr. Brashawn Jenkins. Come on in the house, brother.
Good evening.
Hey, how are you doing, Mr. Jenkins?
Wonderful. Excited about being here. Excited to getting. Excited about talking about what we're talking about.
All right.
Ready to see how we can go on this journey together for self-discovery and being our best.
Right. Awesome. So we're going to get right into this, and we're going to just go right into our discussion. So I just want to just talk about on this night, are we living and truly walking in our purpose? Right? Do we really know what our purpose is? Do we know what the purpose looks like? Are we walking in our calling? Are we using our gifts? Are we using our talents? So I just want to just jump into the conversation. Are y'all ready? Because let me tell y'all something. I am ready. D for the discussion.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. All right, so I want to bring a basic definition before we start. The definition of purpose is this: the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. That word existence, our purpose. So, John, I just want to just talk with you real quickly. What do you think you bring to the table, and can you share with us what your purpose is?
Absolutely. And it's funny that you asked that, because a couple of years ago when I was pursuing my master's degree, they asked us a similar question and we needed to kind of flush it out right in a paper. I boiled it down to 3 words. It's real simple for me. It's 3 words. And literally everything that I do is connected in these 3 words. So the first word is culture, right? Culture is very important. It means a lot and it matters. And so in all of the work that I do, there's a thread: understanding culture, accepting culture, learning about culture, and more importantly, validating and celebrating culture. So that's me, right? Culture is 1. 2 is connection. I am known by a lot of folks as that person that will put individuals together so they can bring the greatness out of one another, right? So if it's a connection I have over here from college and a colleague I have over here at my campus, or someone from the fraternity, someone in a group that I sing with, I tend to bring people together so that they're able to, meet one another and truly bring the greatness out of one another, be it from a business perspective. I actually have a couple of folks I know who've gotten married because I introduced them to one another, right? So that piece is also important. And then lastly, part of what my purpose is creativity, really challenging the status quo and thinking outside the box. How do we do things differently? How do we progress? How do we move forward and do it in a way that makes maybe sense to some people, but introduces others to a new way of thinking, a new way of doing it? So really, culture, connection, and creativity, those are literally 3 reasons and 3 words for me to describe my purpose.
All right, culture. You got to be connected with somebody, and you got to use those creative juices. That's what I'm talking about. I told y'all, listen to our audience, like and share. Drop your comments in the feed. Let us know where we're going with this. Let us know if you agree. Let us know if you don't agree. Same question to you, Desmond.
Yeah, I don't have my 3 words, but but for me, I would say the first thing that comes to my mind is to serve. Most of my life, my experiences has been either through church, through work, and my experiences as a 20-year educator, and now a leader in education, and then also in the fraternity. So in all of those areas, I come with a servant leader mentality. So my first thought is definitely to serve, but particularly in my role as in what I do in education, I think that my primary role is to serve with intentionality around elevating and building the capacity of teachers to impact the lives of children, because they're our future, and you can't put a price tag on that. The poem that many of us have seen, I'm sure we've seen it around, how much do you make? I can't tell you how much I make, because I'm constantly making every day. Right. And so the role that I have as a servant leader is huge, not only because of what I do in the building, but for us as a society. So for me, serving, being a servant leader who serves and leads unapologetically in the best interest of kids.
Wow. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So we don't hear it so far, y'all. Connections, culture, creativity, and serving. Wow. That is our purpose. Mr. Jenkins, can you chime in and let us know, brother? I know you're ready.
I don't have the Q acronyms, but one thing I can tell you that I am confident about, I am not confused about, I am called to educate, to motivate, and to build. So when it comes, and it doesn't matter where the environment is, it doesn't matter what title I'm holding, it doesn't matter the environment or the group of people, I'm usually doing the very same things. Right. So, I tell everybody, while your assignment or your title may change, your purpose never changes. happens. It stays consistent.
Yes.
You just take it from one place to another, doing it from one place to another. Whatever you're called or whatever you are built and whatever you're made to do, you're going to do it if you're working at Walmart. You're going to do it if you're working for the White House. You're going to do it if you're working for yourself. It doesn't matter. The title and the assignments change, but your purpose stays consistent.
Wow, consistency. Y'all dropping some C's out here tonight. Whew. Okay, so you know what, y'all? I'm just so super excited. I'm so super excited. All right, let's just jump into this. So one of the things that you said, Rashawn, is whatever your calling is, walk in that. And I think sometimes we as meaning us, self-included, we try to match and align ourselves with what we think other people are doing and what their purpose is. But we fail to realize that if you are the best person that can fry chicken in your kitchen, you ain't got to be Chick-fil-A. You could be Thomas Davis Kitchen and do the same thing that Chick-fil-A is doing. We have to stop trying to emulate and mimic what we see other people doing, because their purpose may not be my purpose. Right. And so you went right into my next question, and I'm going to start with you. When did you know what your purpose actually was? And then following you would be Desmond, then John.
So can I just say I had a good idea when I was 19. And I've always had a good idea of what it is that I was supposed to be doing, and life kind of confirmed it. But I think that the most important thing is, because while I can talk about myself all day and all night, but this isn't an interview. We're trying to help our audience members to find who they are and what it is that they're called to do. And one of the things that I start with, if there's some folk out there who are like, I don't know what my gifts are. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I will start first by making you ask yourself one question. What do people you trust compliment you for doing?
Whew.
Who do people you trust, what do they compliment you for doing? And for many of you all, I think that when we start talking about gifts and talents and abilities, we start thinking about people who can sing, who can draw, who can dance, or performing arts gifts. But I know some folk who are good, just you can talk to them, or they can take chaos and go into a chaotic situation and bring order to it. I'm a creative, so I'm a person who needs a lot of management. So, so I need folk who are good administratively to keep me straight and to keep me organized and to keep my bills paid. You know, I need that, and I need this. So the first thing that I tell everybody is, in order to know what you are called to do, big vision, I want you to start first with, what do people compliment me on?
Wow, that is awesome.
Those are the breadcrumbs that'll lead you to the loaf.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Next, Desmond.
Yeah. I would say for me, similar to Brother Jenkins, it was a journey for me. I didn't wake up and say, you know, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I like to say that I kind of somewhat identified what I thought at around the age 15, what I thought I was supposed to be doing, because as was shared earlier, it was brought to my attention that I worked well with kids. So for me, I began to explore that and tap into that. And I think that Brother Jenkins brings a very important point. Those close people around you who have your best interest, because not everybody has your best interest, right? But those people who you hold near and dear oftentimes will elevate for you, you know, what you do well. And I would also add, ask yourself, what do I enjoy doing, right? Because, you know, depending on who you are and where you are culturally, sometimes it's about what your parents want. But I can reassure you that if you go down the avenue of doing what your parents want just because of the sake of what your parents want, oftentimes that's not your purpose. And so, so you have to kind of think about that. And, after identifying what I thought was my purpose, I then, had some life experiences. As you said, we all have BAs in life, in which my identified purpose was then refined once I went off to college, just due to life and some experiences that shifted the area in which I wanted to go. And then I kind of realigned my life as I began to think about where I was as I graduated, and then just walk in that which was given to me. So it was much of a process for me. It didn't start out right away. but I kind of started out just as Brother Jenkins shared. There were just these areas that people always said, "Oh, you're really good at this." I mean, I was great at things, but it was those things that weren't the showy things. I was an athlete. I was good at that. I was I was a nice kid. But there were a few people who saw me engage with kids, and they were like, "Wow, at Sunday school, leading." And they'd be like, "Oh wow, you really were able to get them to refocus and recenter. How'd you do that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just, whatever it was." So sometimes those are just unnatural gifts. They show themselves, and not always to the person, but to other individuals.
Thank you so much for sharing, Desmond. And John.
So it's funny. I talk about finding purpose, and for me, it's when I graduated from college and fell in love with an unintended career field, right? So I got out of college not knowing what I wanted to do and literally just wanted time, right? Time to be with my friends. A lot of my close friends were a year behind me in college. And so my last supervisor for the summer said, "Hey, I want you to look at this job." It was working at the neighboring institution. I went to Cornell University, and then they said, look at Ithaca College, working there. And it was supposed to be a 10-month position interim where I was just kind of, for me, collecting a check, setting myself up for what I thought I wanted to do next. And each and every day, I woke up excited to go to work. Each and every day, when I got there and I would work with students, it brought something out of me that I didn't really know that was there. And so what was supposed to be a 10-month interim position turned into the first 8.5 years of my career in student affairs. And for me, I saw through the work that I was doing, the connections, again, going back to what I talked about earlier, right? The connections that I was making and helping students to be connected, how I was able to make it my own thing, because at the time, I only had a bachelor's degree and I was in a position that needed a master's. So I was a little creative in terms of how I wanted to engage with students, because I was a little closer to their age than maybe some of my other colleagues. I was able to connect with them in a different way. And also because my position working in multicultural affairs kind of pushed the importance of culture on a predominantly white college campus, I started to see like where my path was going. And again, for me, it was like, this is it. I didn't intend this to be this way. Like they mentioned earlier, if I had gone the path that my parents thought I was going to go, I would be a lawyer. But I found my passion and my purpose unintentionally, and that has taken me for the last 15 years of my career.
Got you. Thank you so much. There was a question that came up from Mr. AJ, and I kind of want us to really answer this question. Listening orders, when you ask us questions, we're going to answer them. So there was a question from AJ Stevenson. Thank you so much for asking this question. Can each of you talk about the challenges of walking in your purpose as Black men in America? What a loaded question. Who would like to start this one? All right, Mr. Bacall.
I will share. If you noticed, I said earlier about being unapologetic. In many fields that we go into, we are often either one or few, and so I found myself, of course, in the education sector, actually the first in my building, but few in other spaces. And what I had to learn to do, and I think a lot of this ties to what we were saying earlier about being comfortable in who you are, and just really thinking about who you are as the individual and the gifts that you bring forward, and understand the value in yourself. Because it wasn't until I understood who I was as a Black man, a Black educated man who had just as much knowledge and creativity and experience and passion about education and kids in my sector as anybody else. So once I figured that out, and I knew that I was walking in my purpose, I was unapologetic about the work. Now, was it challenging? Absolutely. Because you're questioned on everything. And you have to know, because in every sector there's a PC game, right? And
right.
You're gonna play it or you're not gonna play it. And sometimes you have to play it to get to your platform or wherever you need to be able to be clear about how you want to move forward. For me, I spent a lot of time walking on eggshells about who I was in my position, like in what I was doing, and always questioning, because I knew that people were constantly watching. And so, yes, you have to do, as we all know, we know we got to do twice as much and work twice as hard. And you just have to know that going in.
Right.
And know that once you get to where you need to get to, that you don't forget that there's other people behind you doing the same thing. And then it's your responsibility to actually reach back and pull them forward.
Wow. Chantrell Scott said, so true. Thank you so much. Mr. Jenkins, can you answer this question?
You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them, and you got to know when to walk away. Because when you are a Black man working in certain places, especially spaces that are not usually accustomed to having people who look like you in the space, there's a great deal of perceptions that you have to overcome. So you have to use wisdom. You have to be discerning. You have to know when you can do certain things and when you can. And a lot of those things come from wisdom. A lot of those things come from stepping on a lot of landmines. Like the things that I do as a professional in my 40s, I learned all the wrong things from when I did them in my 20s.
Right.
So it takes wisdom, and it's nothing that is a quick fix. So you have to learn sometimes by making mistakes, watching other people make mistakes, and learning. What I tell anybody as a Black man, when you come into a new environment, watch more than you talk. Figure out the lay of the land. Don't feel like you have to have all of the answers. Watch and pay attention. Find out who the game players are. If the boss is wearing three-piece suits and everybody else isn't, then you need to pay attention to those things, because if not, you'll alienate yourself and you will be the first to be kicked off the island first.
Ooh, okay. All right. We're going to go right on into John. Hey, what do you say, brother?
So listen, this is such a good question. I'll put it this way. So again, I mentioned I was 21 when I was just out of undergrad. So I was 21 when I started working on a college campus and working with students who were 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And even I remember I had a 40-year-old student at the time, right? So there was definitely a bit of a clash at the beginning. But one of the things that I had to remember, and one of my colleagues had to remind me, was to really understand the value of what I bring to the job and to the campus because of who I am. Right. So I was one of the only Black men in that kind of administrative role in that area of student affairs outside of one other person. Right. So I brought this aspect of, again, culture. I brought this different way. I have a different swag, a different way of doing things that connect with some students much more than they would deal with other people and try to connect with other people that didn't necessarily work. And it was interesting for me because, again, I only had a bachelor's coming into the job and everybody else had a master's. And I used to think I'm already at a disadvantage. But my colleague had to remind me that the things that I have done in my life brought me to this job. The things I experienced in my own educational journey made me qualified to be here. And so, yeah, you may not necessarily have that degree in the moment, but you have a whole bunch of stuff that a degree won't ever teach you. You have a whole bunch of experience that you cannot get just doing a master's program. So when I realized that, and I realized the value of what I brought to the table because of who I was, everything shifted. Everything moved for me in a way that I'm very confident now. When I get on a college campus, I know what I can do. Right then, now I have a master's degree, but I know exactly what I bring. I know what I'm capable of doing, and you're not going to be able to tell me any different. That doesn't mean I can't learn, because I learn every single day. But I know and I'm confident in who I am, and I use that to my advantage.
Wow, and it goes back to what I said. Yes, sir.
Can we zero in on something?
Yes, we can.
I think the most important thing that doesn't lift instinctively is the fact that all of us at one time in our careers, or in my case, I deal with it all the time, every day. It's a part of my own baggage and worth, is dealing with the concept of imposter syndrome.
Wow.
Do I have a right to be in this space? Do I have a right to do what it is that I do? And the thing that I tell everybody is, regardless of what the environment is, you still have to be excellent.
Yes.
One of the things that Desmond brought up, and I think it's something that becomes a moment of toxicity to Black men and to other people of color, is we have to be 3 times as good to go half as far. So I want to dial that back, because what that does is that sometimes makes us so paranoid when we go
Right.
into cases that don't look like us.
Yeah.
Then we get into analysis paralysis where we can't make a decision. We can't do what we need to do. So the best thing to do is to be excellent. And
Right.
excellence will always rise to the top. I tell you, I've had folk when I've gone into spaces, bosses, supervisors who did not like me. Oh, he's too loud, he's too cocky, he's too this, he's too that. But I kept being excellent. And I tell you, the folk who said that about me, I've outlasted them. They're gone someplace picking up cantaloupes. I don't know what they're doing. But when you are excellent and you are committed to, I'm going to do the best job I can with the tools that I have, and understand that you have a right to be there.
I love that. I love
You have
that.
to know that, and you have to embrace that.
I love that. There was a comment, Brother Jenkins, that goes to what you just said from Mr. Jerome Kenner. He says, "Great word, bro. I was kicked out of the island because I did not study the law of the land. Never made that mistake again." I thank Brother Jenkins for making that comment.
Yes.
Miss Rhonda Dawson said exactly. Miss Penny Davis says, "Yes, sir." Thank you all so much for pouring into us tonight, because this is why we're here. We're here for you, and we're here to help you, each and every one of you all, find your purpose. All right, so that's just a question that I want to ask next, but I also want to say this about myself real briefly, and all of you all have touched on this. We wear so many different hats, right? Those that know me know that I am involved in a fraternity. I work in the education field. I'm working my own business. I have a nonprofit. I'm this and I'm that. But sometimes people don't see your authentic self because they only focus on one or two things about you. And because of that, that goes back to last week, which deals with the perception, but we're talking about the purpose. And what the purpose in my life is to inspire somebody else that never be stuck. Never allow what you think that you can't achieve to beat you at your own game. And I love how each and every one of you all said, you got to know when to fold them. You got to be authentic. You got to be true to yourself. You guys are killing it tonight. So thank you so much. Which goes to my next question. And this is a loaded question. And I want to see who's going to jump out here first. Why is it important to be real with yourself first?
Ooh. Ooh.
You got time for
You got to be real with yourself. Because none of your co-workers, none of the people you serve go home with you. Everyone will leave. And so when, if you're not careful, what you will find yourself doing as you try to achieve purpose is you will live for the applause. And there will be seasons where people will applaud you. And then there will be seasons where people will not applaud you. So you have to learn how, as Aaliyah said, to work the middle. Because if you don't work the middle, you will live for this. You will live for this. And I'm telling you, the thing that, but let me say this. A lot of the things that I can say is because I burnt my hand on the stove.
Yes.
Fire, not touch it, ouch. And so I've learned this so I can speak to that. But I'm telling you, you gotta be you. I am a loud boy from the country. I am this way everywhere that I go. And there's some folk, and it really bothers folk, and people like, he too loud, he too this, he too that, he too so much, da, 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 da. But the thing about it is, I had to be real with me. And when I tried to dial it back, when I tried to be less, when I tried to be small and to diminish, then it kept me from being my best. And in other words, Thomas, it kept me broke.
Right. And that's the meaning of broke.
Yourself, it will keep you broke. And many of you all are not in the place where you want to be financially. Is because you got a gift that is not in operations. And a gift that is not in operation will keep you broke.
And will you please let them know that you ain't talking about being broke money wise?
No.
I'm talking about all of it.
All right.
I'm talking about all of it.
All right. John, jump right in real quick.
Listen, I thought about this just when he was talking, because I think this is so very important. If you're not real with yourself, then how can you show up authentically, right, to your colleagues, you mentioned, how can you show up authentically to anyone? So one thing I recognize now, you know, more than I did before, is how multifaceted I am, right? So I mentioned, you know, I work in student affairs, but I'm also a creative, I'm a musician, I'm a singer, I'm a writer, producer, right? And I used to keep all of that so very separate. So on like Saturdays and Sundays or outside of work, I would do my music stuff. And then when I go to work and somebody asks me something music related, I would probably, nope, I don't sing, I don't do any of that stuff. And I wouldn't share any of that because I felt like at the time I need to focus and be here, not really thinking about the fact that all of these things that I do outside of that in the more creative space actually will add to my value in this work as a student affairs professional. So now on campuses, and I know some of my colleagues are here, you know, at the drop of a hat, John, can you host this event, or something will go on, especially in this virtual space, something will happen in this, John, can you just kind of jump in because they know I'm the one that has that kind of stage presence. I'm not afraid to speak up. I'm not afraid to host, to pivot really quickly, right? And so I bring that to the table in a way that is actually really valuable. And so I had to make the decision to be real. I had to make the decision to bring all of that to the table, because like you said, if not, I'm broke in my job. I'm showing that I can only do one thing. I'm only capable of this. When the truth of the matter is, I'm capable of all these different things. And so you have to be able to understand as you grow to know who you are, how all of that comes to whatever table you're sitting at, no matter what it is that you do. And I think sometimes when we talk about purpose, folks say, well, I have this one purpose and it's aligned with, I'm not trying to go too far because I know we got this question probably later, but like this one assignment, this one aspect of, you know, who I am, and that's all it is. You got to understand that you are so multifaceted, and you got to figure out what pieces do I bring and how do they come together to make the whole me. And that really, again, goes back to you as showing your value wherever you are.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would
there is you, and then there's a commodified you.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are parts of you that are for sale, and there are parts of you that are not for sale. So you better know the difference. Because let me tell you something. There's some parts of Rashawn that you don't get for free. There's some part you cannot just take me to dinner. I stopped as a creative. You cannot just take me to dinner, and that's what people used to do. Well, let me take you to dinner. I just want to pick your brain. Yes, and that costs $121 an hour.
Yeah.
You have to know your worth. You have to know what you're giving away, and you have to know what is it that you are allowing to barter, or I'm gonna give this to get this later. So I just had to jump in there with that. You got to know what is for sale.
All right.
I would
go ahead, Des. Go ahead.
I would just simply add that, just in that being real with yourself, you have to really come to terms with who you are at all levels, because you either are gonna, if you don't, you're either gonna end up with feelings of grandiosity, walking around thinking you're more than who you are, and or that whole paralysis analysis piece where you're just so fearful of everything that you haven't even tapped into your gifts. So just really taking the time to explore who you are is critical. And when you don't take the time to do that and know who you are and walking in your purpose, if you're in a space where you're feeling as though I haven't been real with myself, I can tell you this: if you haven't been real with yourself about who you are, whatever job or whatever it is that you think is your purpose, it's never going to work out for you anyway. And you're never really going to be in your purpose if you haven't taken the time to be real and be able to bring your authentic self to the job.
Right. Thank you so much. We got some comments coming in. DeMarcus Coleman said, y'all are preaching to my soul. Miss Tanya Morgan says, Brashawn is on it. Y'all are talking. Timothy Fitzgerald just made a comment and says, you have to be real with yourself first. Oftentimes we set ourselves on fire to keep other people warm. We give so much to others, and we're not taking care of ourselves. People that are watching tonight, your purpose sometimes is not to be the caretaker of everybody else. Because if you don't take care of you first, and you don't keep yourself warm first, you will never be able to successfully keep care of your job, of your organizations, of your families, of your children, and everything that is connected to you. And I just want to say this real quick. Your purpose sometimes is not to be made visible to everybody else either. Because sometimes people would kill your purpose if they know where you're going.
And let's throw something else. You show me your friends, I'll show you. I can see your future. Who are your trusted agents?
That's right.
Who fits in your front row? I'm a fashion designer, and one of the things that we do to sell clothes is when we have fashion shows, only the most important people can sit on the front row. So my question is who's sitting in your front row? Who's applauding you? Because some folk that you have on the front row probably need to be on the fifth row, and you probably need to be paid. But one of the reasons why we have a problem with prioritizing who sits close to us is people who may need to be closer to us. They may not look like you want them to look, may not have the degrees you want them to look like, might not be a member of your fraternity, may not, they might not be as accoutred, but they are the person who is assigned to get you where you need to go.
Right.
So what our need for all of us to do is not only to do gift assessment, but also to do friend and associate assessment too. Because some of our friends are not friends, they're HR friends, like we say in the country. They're good to speak to, and you just throw your hands up and say, "Hey, child, how you doing?" and keep it moving. That's what
hello.
You know what I mean? They're not the folk who you bring over and have in your house. They're not the who you share your dreams with. They're just HR friends. And if you don't know the difference, you will be broke. You will be broke in. You will be despondent. And so you have to know these things, and you have to embrace it and know these things deep in your spirit.
So, y'all, I just got to say this real quick. So many people are texting me crazy. We have to do a part 2 of this. So, guys, get ready for a part 2, okay? Right. Before I go there, there's a question that's going to come up. But before we go to this question, I just want to say this. If you wake up in the morning and you look at that person that's in the bed with you and you're not happy, that's not your purpose. When that alarm clock goes off in the morning and you like, I got to go down and get on this Zoom again, that's not your purpose. When you walk into that job and you feel like that you just so all over the place, that is not your purpose. So the question that I wanted to bring up next was from Ms. McLaughlin, and she had a great question which led me to actually say that. How do you know when you find your purpose? I'm going to start with John.
Listen, I would say this. For me, I knew I found my purpose again. That, like you just said, that waking up each morning and being excited about accomplishing something or bringing something new to the table with excitement in a way that it's not that, no one's going to be able to stop me, but I'm able to explain to someone who doesn't see the vision. I'm going to help you to see it in a way that you can understand it and catch it, and you're going to run with me, right? And if you're not the person who's supposed to be running with me, we ain't going to worry about it. I'm going to just keep going without you. And so it's one of the things for me where you have to really continue to work to find and get comfortable and feel. And again, we talked about earlier, sometimes your purpose is outside of your comfort zone. But once you go outside of that zone, you start to then broaden your comfort zone. Right? So now this new space, it doesn't seem as foreign. It doesn't seem as strange. It actually is now a bit more familiar, which will then maybe stretch to go even another way and continue to expand. So when you find your purpose, it's one of those things that you feel settled in some way, right? You feel this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And it's not just you that feels that way, but the individuals you interact with, the individuals helping, they will see that, they will see your value, they will know that, they will show you in some way, shape, or form, we need you. This is exactly where you're supposed to be. And they'll know when to let you go. When it's time for assignment to be done and over with, they won't move. They'll actually celebrate you going on to your next, taking that next week, that next jump into whatever else is out there for you. So that, for me, is how I knew what my purpose was and how I knew I found where my purpose lies.
Wow. Thank you so much. Desmond, jump right in.
I would say one word came to mind when you, as John was talking, it was just the word natural. It feels natural. It's effortless, but it's not, that doesn't mean that it's not work. As we mentioned earlier, you can move into an area of purpose and it may be uncomfortable for you. So the work is establishing, what it means to be in this space as I'm working and growing in my purpose. But once you're there, it's effortless. It feels natural in whatever space that you're in.
Right.
And it's not just a job. You know, you wake up every day, yes, to go to work, things like that. That's not to say you won't be tired or it won't, because oftentimes, because it is your passion, it is
right.
whatever it is, you have to do more, but it doesn't feel like it. So for me, you know, when I found out, I knew that I was there, because I never in a million years would I had ever thought that I'd be doing this. But every day I wake up, not once have I said I hate my job, I don't want to be there. But it's work, as in, you know, establish the daily day-to-days, but it doesn't feel like work, and it's something that I love and I'm passionate about. And so I think that's key in establishing your purpose.
Right. And Mr. Jenkins, can you share a little bit of?
I don't want people to get it twisted. You got to know the difference between your purpose and an assignment. And I hate. I really have to be careful in this moment about talking about titles and getting so narrowly defined about titles, because I've done a lot of things. I've lived a very Forrest Gump life, and I'm one of them creative Negroes that is hood famous. Like, you look at my resume, you like, this don't make sense. You did this and you did this, and now you're here. And I'm like, yeah, it just kind of worked like that. I'm a Forrest Gump Negro. That's who I am. But the thing that I embrace and I'm getting is a lot easier to do as I experience life more, is to understand when the assignment is done.
Right.
There are some things, y'all. There are some things that I love to do. There's some things that I love doing it in that place. But now I know when the bell rings and it's time to go, it is easier for me to move forward. It is easier for me to do what I need to get done, because I've learned the danger of doing the right thing in the wrong place, or being someplace and stayed too long. So you have to know what it is that what part of your commodified self belongs in certain environments, because there's some places that you've outgrown. And if you're finding yourself in a place where you've outgrown it, it's time to go. Now, that relationship piece, I think we need to take that out of this, because many of us got into a relationship and you knew going in it wasn't going to get you what you needed. But it made you feel good in the moment.
Right.
Accommodate where you were going.
So
now you got a problem. But okay, I'm gonna leave that alone.
All right, you know what? I told y'all it's gonna be a part 2. So there's a comment from Mr. Horace Beck. He says, really enjoyed this conversation. Keep up the fantastic job. Justin Leach stated, if you're not real with yourself, how can you expect anyone else to be real with? And then there was another question that says, what are the calculated risks that you take?
Ooh.
Wow.
There is a risk involved with everything that you do. And you cannot have your cake and eat it too. You're going to have to give up something. Your dream has a price tag. The dream is free, but the hustle going to cost you. All right. You're going to have to give up some friends. You're going to have to give up some sleep. You're going to have to pay a financial price.
Let me drink my water.
It's going to cost you something. Let me tell you, at 44, I'm not single because I'm not fine. I'm single because I had to make some sacrifices to get where I wanted to go. So I was living up in the basement of my cousin's house for 8 years before I could buy a house. That meant that nobody wanted to date me, because they're like, you live with your people, you doing this and you doing that, you ain't the one, boo. And now that I built a house on that side of town, everybody like, oh, when you going to invite me over? No, you can't now, because when I was living with my cousins, you was talking about me. And you got to know that everything that you are believing for, your dream has a price tag, and it comes in the era of sacrifice. If you ain't willing to give up nothing, you ain't never going to have nothing.
Rashad, I'm going to go secular real quick. You can't give the goods to everybody, because the goods won't be good no more. We're going to leave that where it is.
Baby.
We're going to leave that where it is.
I done gave up too much of my good stuff, and I've learned my commodified self.
All right. You just stop. You stop.
Some of us are giving Honda Civic.
You know
what we should be.
Jazz, mute him. I'm done with it. Desmond, go ahead.
I just echo, man. You gotta give up something as you're moving forward towards whatever it is. I mean, a lot of times, and we're talking about purpose, not assignments, right? Because assignments, they come and go, right? But when you know you are in your purpose, oftentimes you're placed in positions. Your purpose, when you're working in your purpose, will actually push you to pursue a calculated risk. And it's there, and then they'll say, "Oh no, you're gonna have to do this if you want to continue, doing this." So a lot of times you have to just think about, is it worth it? Well, yeah, I'm here. This is where I'm supposed to be. And a lot of times people don't understand. They don't see. They don't understand the pathway in which you're moving. And oftentimes that means you got to cut them loose, and that includes family. Family sometimes may not even understand why you're doing what you're doing. But as we said earlier, you got to let them know, hey, this is not about you. This is not. Oftentimes, your purpose is not about you as an individual either. But whatever it is that you find yourself in, I say do it and move in it, regardless of the risk, and you'll end up on the other side, as was stated earlier, across the street, saying, "Hey,
look, there's a comment that just came in, and it's from Mr. Wright. He says life is a hustle, but you don't have to be a hustler."
Right.
And that's the mindset that we want to share tonight with our viewers. Find your purpose, but don't let your purpose be of a manipulation to someone else.
Right.
Because sometimes we know what our purpose is, but I'm only seeing my purpose, and I don't care about what your purpose is. Mm-hmm. There's only but so long that you're going to be able to get away with hustling.
Yep.
If we haven't learned anything in 2020 is unveiling a lot of stuff.
Yes.
We're going to just stop right there, y'all. We're going to stop right there. We're going to leave it alone. But the purpose of this conversation tonight to our listening audience, because we got to go, unfortunately, it's 7:56. I don't know where this hour has went. But I just want to just share and allow my panel to share with them this one last question briefly. And while we're doing that, we're going to drop in our chat groups. Please give us feedback. Miss Jasmine is going to drop a chat link. We want your feedback. Click on the link. Tell us if you like the subject. What do we need to talk about? What do we not need to talk about? Give us feedback. It is anonymous. Please, please, please give us feedback, because this is why I'm doing this. It's not about Thomas. It's about letting everyone from all walks of life let their voice be heard. So it's 7:57. You guys got 30 seconds each to tell us how you know that you are walking in your purpose, and your closing comments. Starting with John.
I'll say this. At one point in finding my purpose, I realized, and this actually kind of ties to the last question about calculated risk. One point I knew I was in my purpose because I realized I had to walk alone, right? I realized that while I have an Ivy League education, and people say, well, why would you go into education? No one from an Ivy League institution goes into education, higher education, not making money and all this kind of stuff. And I realized I had to walk alone for a while. Right. And it was going to take some time for me to get everybody on board, to see what I was doing and to see what my vision was for myself and my career. As I continued on, folks got it. Right. And I couldn't wait for them to get it. I just had to move forward. And so I think when you find your purpose, there is going to be that season where you're alone. There's going to be that season when you have no one necessarily around you who may see what you see. But as long as you see it, that's what matters. As long as you see it, that's what counts.
You have to see it. Thank you. And any words of encouragement that you want to share with the people, because this could be part 2 of this. What will you say to someone that is still trying to find their purpose?
I would just say
7 seconds.
I would just say this. Don't think your purpose is wrapped up in being famous, but that's for part 2.
Yeah, we go. All right, next. Brashawn.
As you start to accomplish your purpose, just keep in mind that every day will not be peaches, but if you stay faithful to it and stay consistent with it, every day will be progress.
Ooh, thank you for that one. Thank you for that one. And Desmond.
Alignment is key. For me, it was mind, body, spirit, but whatever it is for you, Make sure that you align yourself, work to honestly reflect in terms of where you are, understand and assess who's around you, who you need to keep, who you need to get rid of, pray, and continue to move forward in that which he has for you. That's all I have from you right now. But definitely continue to just know that it doesn't come right at. It's not something that happens overnight. Is what I'll leave you with.
Thank you so much. And guess what, viewers? You know, we have their taglines where you can find them on social media and stuff. But guess what? We're going to wait to part 2 because we want y'all to come back and continue this dialogue. I'm telling you, this has been a phenomenal show. And I want to personally applaud you, Desmond, you, Rashawn, you, John, to our viewers. Brothers, we got views everywhere, y'all. So everybody's watching. So I want to say thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for still liking our comments. I'm seeing the comments still flowing. Again, this is not about Thomas. It's not about Limitless. It's not about Rashawn. It's not about Desmond. It's not about John. It's about empowering you all that there is still hope. You can still be excited about your future. You can still do this. We got this. And I just want you to know, please click on the link, offer us feedback. You don't have to leave your name. It's anonymous. It's about for us to continue doing what it is that we're doing. But before we go, I have some announcements to make real quick. The first announcement is this. On December the 6th, we're going to be talking about seasons change. As we go into the holiday season, people celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, all those great holidays. But we're going to be talking about seasons change. Because guess what? Sometimes in our life, our seasons change. The people we change, the situation may change. We have to change our narrative. So tune in on December the 6th at 7 p.m. for our next subject, episode 3, Seasons Change. Followed by on December 6th, on December the 13th, I am pleased to announce that Ms. Rhonda Dawson reached out something on self-care for men. So, men, share this post. A flyer will be coming out on December the 13th at 5 p.m. We're going to do this one via Zoom. We're going to be talking about men's self-care, skincare. So she's going to be introducing some face stuff, face masks, holiday stuff. As part of taking care of our mental, we also have to take care of our physical. So do not shy away from learning about healthy products for us as men, because we all can improve on our physical appearance. And lastly, part 2 is going to come up. We're going to figure it out when everyone is going to be available. And we're going to make sure that you guys continue to walk in our purpose. December is going to be the month of seasons changes and finding our purpose. So when you walk into 2021, you're going to know what your purpose is. You're going to know some people in your life had to be exited out. Situations had to be exited out. So as I close, I would like to say to you, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We had an awesome conversation. I love each and every one of you all. And remember the 4 C's. Always communicate, strive to remain consistent, be open to change, and lastly, collaborate. I love you all, and we will see you on December the 6th. Take care.